Turnbuckle Tavern's YouTube page. Today we're going to be talking about new topics for Series 3 of Dark Side of the Ring. Before we get into that, make sure you guys click on the link in the description below. It's going to take you to our podcast page where you can subscribe and review to that, our Pro Wrestling Tees page, and our Instagram and our Twitter. You can also subscribe to the YouTube page and click the bell up in the corner so you know when we're coming with more videos. But we'll get into the topic at hand. So there are two new topics that they've released that they're going to do for the new series of Dark Side of the new season of Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, what are I didn't pick up which ones they're doing.
Brian Pillman and Jake the Snake Roberts, which are two great topics. I think Jake, we know a lot about Jake. I don't know. I think the DDP documentary did a lot of deep dive into him. So
that's what I was going to say is like the Jake one. I feel like it's been done to death.
Yeah. I feel like we're,
because they touched on that in Beyond the Mat. Then he had that DVD release. I forget what it was called. WWE released it. I had it on DVD at one point. I forget what it was called.
Yeah.
And after that, DDP had the resurrection of Jake Roberts.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what meat they've picked off the bone for this one.
Yeah, because I mean they could definitely bring something to that one just from they do really good reenactments. Those reenactment videos they do with the snake could be cool.
Oh yeah.
And depending on who they get to interview, maybe they can get some interviews that we haven't heard from.
Yeah, that one I'm more excited about the Brian Pillman one.
Yeah, me too. WWE released that DVD probably over a decade ago, that Loose Cannon documentary that was really good.
Yeah.
But, anytime you get a documentary produced by WWE, they're not going to go as deep as someone outside of the company will go.
Yeah, they definitely have boundaries up that other places aren't going to have. And I want to see stuff that where there are no boundaries on it.
Yeah, they're towing that company line in their documentaries, and I like you're not going to get as much of the negative light as what documentaries should have. It should be unbiased and just show you what happened.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm more excited to see with that one.
Yeah, I want them to dive deep into not only his beginnings, but that very murky area of Pillman's career when he was right at the tail end of his WCW run coming into WWE. That's one of the more fascinating aspects of, I think, Pillman's career was when he was really starting to blur the lines between kayfabe and reality.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think I want them to deep dive into that. And I think it'd also be cool, which I'm sure they probably will, but it'd be cool to get Brian Pillman Jr. on there to talk about his perspective, when he was a kid and what he saw with his dad.
Yeah. And JR is probably going to be on that because JR, I think brought Pillman in and was a really big kind of father figure to Pillman within the business.
Yeah.
So I always love seeing, the Jim Rosses and Jim Cornettes of the world coming on, and because they're such encyclopedic
there's
people
so much
to the business.
Yeah, there's so much that they can offer to that story. So they've had two topics now. What's a topic that you would like to see on this season?
Man, they've covered so many big ones.
Yeah.
I would like to see, and I don't know how, we keep using this phrase, but I don't know how much meat on the bone there is for this one, but I have a feeling I think a Chris Kanyon episode would be very good.
Oh yeah. I'd like to see that.
Just, with the tragic suicide and him, being a gay man and trying to hide that within this testosterone fueled world, and
Right.
how he never came to grips with that was such a sad state of affairs. And he was such a talented guy. I think he would have been huge.
Yeah, and I think, there's a lot of stories out there and we know a lot about the situation, but I think it'd be cool to have them just condense it all into an episode and kind of deep dive on some of the biggest stuff, because I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that we've missed.
Yeah, Chris Canyon episode would be very good. Um, are there any that jump out at you? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I want to see one that kind of goes into a deep dive on the relationship between Dusty Rhodes and Vince McMahon.
Oh man, that would be good.
That's the one that I want to see. I want to see, because you hear all these stories, but I want to hear it from people that were there, and I want to hear, what the true relationship between the two of them were, because it doesn't seem like it was that great.
Yeah, they were always taking subtle shots at each
Right.
other, and um, oh man, I mean, there's so many. I feel like the very big, obvious ones have been done, so it's
Yeah.
like I'm trying to really think about what else, what other kind of tragic, crazy stories are out there that they haven't really touched on.
I'd like to see him do one on Mike Awesome.
That would be, yeah,
I'd like to see one on Mike Awesome, and I'd like to see one on Chris Candido.
yeah, that would be good too.
I think two of those two would be,
Because if you did the Chris Candido one, you could kind of touch on Tammy Sitch, Sonny.
Right. Yep.
Even maybe an unrated, unadulterated look at the beginnings of ECW.
Yeah.
Like the outlaw mentality of it, and not filtered through a WWE lens, like a true deep look into that company and how they were breaking rules left and right, from copyright laws to they were doing so many things. And there's so many crazy stories of those wrestlers working these crowds where there were riots.
Oh yeah.
Fighting out of arenas. And
yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun to hear from. The only bad thing, we wouldn't get Paul Heyman, but
right,
it would be nice to hear, because I know Bubba Ray, at the very beginning, he was the one that was sending out merchandise from his basement.
Yeah.
He was the one that was handwriting all the envelopes and sending everything out. So it'd be nice. It'd be nice to hear about that stuff.
Yeah, that Taz was the one who designed the T-shirts.
Right.
That, like, it was a very all hands on deck. That would be interesting. I mean, we know that story too, so that wouldn't. Maybe they could shine a light on things that we haven't heard. But
I think the cool thing about that one would be if some of those people had footage of the beginning,
right, like behind the scenes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What? I mean, you always hear about the plane ride from hell.
Yeah.
What's the day that will forever live in infamy? Is it Black Tuesday? Or is it Black? Yeah. When Vince shows up on Georgia Championship Wrestling, like the takeover of the territories by Vince McMahon would be a very interesting look into all of that happening.
And I think the plane ride too, I think that would be, not only just the plane ride, but you could talk about, the greatest tragedies in wrestling airplane ride history or whatever. Because I believe, wasn't Flair in a plane crash?
Oh yeah.
And wasn't Hogan in a plane crash?
I don't know.
Was he? I don't know. Maybe he wasn't. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of topics that's been done, like the very obvious ones, but I'd be interested to see. I'm interested to see what they come up with for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's a great show. I love Dark Side of the Ring. I hope they get the opportunity to do some extended episodes like they did for the Benoit episode.
I mean, good Lord, hold on. Have we had a Marty Jannetty one?
No, that would be a good one.
Yeah, I feel like there's just a lot of meat on there.
Oh yeah, just to follow a guy who one guy's career went up and what happened to him. That
Yeah.
would be very interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if hearing from him would be the best thing, but hearing
Yeah.
from some other, because of boy, I've heard some interviews with him lately, and
Oh yeah.
he is yeah, DDP might need to call him.
Yeah.
But yeah, what episodes would you guys want to see? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know what videos or what shows you would want to see on the next season.